All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to another video here. We're going to do a color video today. So I'm going to break up the colors into 4 sections. We're going to have reds, we're going to have greens, we're going to have dark colors, so like your black and blues, your purples, and then bright colors, your whites and chartreuses. And there's a reason why we're breaking them up like that. So I did a bunch of research and read up on the biology of bass's eyes and humans' eyes, just to get a better idea of how they see color compared to how we see color. And it was actually really interesting to learn some of the stuff that I learned in these articles. So a lot of this stuff I didn't even know, and it kind of throws a wrench into some of people's thoughts on colors for fishing. But so humans have 3 cone cells in their eyes that pick up color, and the colors that they pick up are red, green, and blue. Largemouth bass has 2 cells, and the colors that those pick up are red and green. So they cannot see color nearly as vividly as we can see. And it doesn't just mean, one color green and one color red and one color blue. It's the whole spectrum of colors that are based off of that main color. So that right there, if a bass is, 2 colors that its eye picks up are red and green, that right there would tell you about the red bait craze, because that right there, that's one of the main colors that those cells in their eyes pick up. So another thing that kind of throws a wrench in colors for bass fishing is for the dark colors, like the blues and the purples, they can't distinguish between the black and the blue or the purple. Like on this jig, for example, this all just looks dark to them. So same with like this jig, this one has some dark blue on there too. It just looks dark to them. Same goes with the bright colors, the white and the chartreuse. A bass can't technically tell the difference between if this one is white or chartreuse or if this one is white or chartreuse. So that kind of blows your mind a little bit when you think about that. So these colors, the bright colors are all, that's why I just made that just bright, a section of bright, and same with the black and blues and purples is just a dark section, because they don't see the blue or the purple. They just see dark or bright or greens or reds. So that's kind of crazy when you think about it, because there's so many colors in fishing lures, and a lot of that is probably just fishing companies trying to get you to buy their lure. So to me, color is more of a confidence thing. I have a lot of confidence in black and blue because I catch a lot of fish on black and blue. So let's get into the when, where, how type of stuff when it comes to color. So for me, it's not as much as the conditions of how I pick color as it is the water clarity. So if we're talking clear water or clearer water, I'm going to go to more natural colors, your green pumpkin, browns, reds, that kind of stuff. And in the dirtier water, I'm going to go with the dark colors or the bright colors. Okay. So especially for the dark colors in the dirtier water, they contrast so well to the background. So in your, muddy lake, you're probably going to be able to see the dark colors the best because they stand out so far from their background. If you throw a green pumpkin and the watercolor, is pretty close to that color, it's not going to stand out. That doesn't mean they won't bite it if it gets close enough. I just don't think that they're going to see it as well from as far away. So in one of these articles, it was kind of cool the way that this professor had put this theory together. So the way you could think about it is in a fog. So if you're 100 feet away sometimes from, a big giant tree and it's real foggy, you may just be able to see that silhouette. When you get close though, you'll be able to see, every detail. When you're right up next to the tree, it's still foggy out, but you can see every little detail of the bark and the branches and everything because you're right up close. So in dirty water, I definitely think if they're close enough, they can see the detail and everything of your more camouflaged colors to their background. But further away, they're going to be able to see these darker, more contrasting colors. And they're also going to be able to see the bright colors in that dirty water better too. So it's not as much of a condition thing. If it's clear and sunny and you have clear water, I'm still definitely going to go with your more natural colors. The only difference as far as conditions go is if it's cloudy and windy and you've got clear water, you might try a darker or a brighter bait in that clear water. But to me, the conditions is more of a bait selection. So if it's real windy and cloudy, I'm probably more apt to go to a spinner bait or a chatter bait or crankbait, something like that. So it's not as much of a color thing, because even if it's cloudy and windy and it's dirtier water, I'm still gonna go with the darker or the brighter colors. It's just more of a bait selection thing. So now one thing you got to remember is, so when it comes to bass fishing, we're talking about Mother Nature and we're talking about an animal, the bass. So it's very unpredictable. There's gonna be oddities and all of that. Some guy might go out there in the clearest of clear water on a bright sunny day and throw, a black and blue jig or just the brightest, craziest spinner bait, and he might catch a giant. I'm not saying that can't happen, because it probably happens all the time. These are just kind of how I choose my colors based off of my experience. So it doesn't matter as much as people make it matter. I think color doesn't matter nearly as much as you would think. So now one thing I will say, and this is, just based off my experience, is clear or dirty water, doesn't matter. It seems to me that black and blue, or black and blue and purple, the darker colors, they get bigger bites. Now, it also seems that you don't get as many bites, but it gets bigger bites in clear or dirty water. That's just how it seems to me based on my experience. Now, I don't know whether this is right, but I have a guess on why I think that is. So what I think that might have to do with is the fish's personality. I think that a smaller fish might be more intimidated by a big, bulky, dark, big silhouette bait in the water, I think they might be more intimidated than a bigger fish. A bigger fish might have more confidence that it can attack that big dark bait and kill it and eat it. So I think it has something to do with the attitude of the fish. And I think bigger fish, I mean, they're definitely smarter, and I think it's a confidence thing in that fish saying, "Hey, I think I can hit that and kill it and eat it." So that's just my hypothesis on why the black and blues and the dark colors catch bigger fish. So hope that kind of makes sense. It was definitely cool reading about the anatomy of a fish's eye compared to our eye and the colors and how they see and all of that. So if that interests you too, just go on Google and do some research, and you'll read a bunch of cool stuff about bass. So that's about it for the color video. Around here, I would say, I mean, most often my choices are gonna be green pumpkins of some sort or black and blues of some sort. So hopefully that helps as far as color selection. I wouldn't be as worried about the conditions. I'd be more worried about the water clarity. I got some more videos coming on how to catch bass in Washington. Thanks for watching.